Friday. It's August 26th. I'm Ainsley Earhart. Julian Assange vowing to release all about injustice
of racism with a brand new Instagram ad.
Clinton camp hits Obama, attacks painful for black voters.
Doesn't want to change. The tone. They're defending this, and this. Therefore, is their strategy.
How she's responding on this Friday morning, straight ahead. And a veteran gets us. This was the number song in a feature. Here's The Secret. We also floss right after.
Did you know, Brian, you have 2 dogs at home? It is National Dog Day. You need to celebrate with your dogs.
And if you don't have a dog, we're going to show you how you can wind up with one before the end of the weekend.
That's right. How and what you need to do when you have a brand new dog at home.
Right. On a separate note, in a matter of moments, in aside,
I have some other you, and I think we're going to turn the lights on in just a minute. We begin with Donald Trump, though, turning the heat up on Hillary Clinton, releasing a new ad. Listen to this ad, calling her racist.
Camp hits Obama, attacks painful for black voters.
Doesn't want to change the tone. They're defending this, and this, therefore, is their strategy.
Clinton responding last night from Nevada.
Donald Trump has built his campaign on prejudice and paranoia. He is taking hate groups mainstream and helping a radical fringe take over the Republican Party.
Trump is heading to Nevada today and Iowa over the weekend. This is a horrible story. The hunt for a killer is underway right now after the murder of 2 Catholic nuns. Sister Margaret Held and Sister Paula Merrill were found stabbed inside the Mississippi and worked as a track for the past 30 years. One of the women's cars was taken, but just last night it was found. Police found it abandoned a mile from their home. And some unbelievable images here as a nearly naked man rams a truck into a Southwest plane at Epley Airfield in Omaha, Nebraska. Police say that the man was screaming that someone was trying to kill him. And when officers chased him, he scaled the airport fence, stripped down to his boxers, and then stole a pickup truck. Then he crashed that truck into the nose of a Southwest plane boarding passengers. 3 people suffered minor injuries. The man was arrested. And finally, a heartwarming story for you. The Navy gives a World War II veteran the surprise of a lifetime.
The TNT, boom, anchors away.
This member sang the Navy March song before thanking him for his service one by one. Those are look at your headlines. We love all of our veterans, especially those World War II veterans.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, thank you.
Pearl Harbor this summer, and there's 2 there signing. Every day they have a different Pearl Harbor survivor talking about
really?
it.
Very good.
Yeah, it's
wow,
fantastic.
very emotional, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, top editor of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. Julian, welcome to Fox and Friends.
Good morning. You have a really morning tone over there. It's midday here, so I'm going to try and adapt to how enthusiastic you guys are.
We got to wake everyone up, and it is a Friday. So thank you so much for joining us. So you're saying you have significant and unexpected material that you're going to release before this election. Can you give us a little taste of what is included?
No, not really. Sorry to disappoint you, but we have quite a lot of material in relation to the U.S. election, thousands of pages relating to various aspects of the Hillary Clinton campaign and some other the publicity as a result of our DNC publications, which caused the top 5 Democratic officials in the Democratic Party to resign, including the President, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has led to other sources being encouraged, and so they step forward, and hopefully that process will continue as we can cascade campaign, and then Americans and others can be better informed about who the new power figures are going to be in U.S. politics.
Julian, you just said the Republican campaign. Do you have information about Donald Trump?
We do have some information about the Republican campaign. I mean, from a point of view of publish much more controversial material than what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth every second day. That's a very strange reality for most of the media to be in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had Reince Priebus on radio yesterday, and he said this: I'm not happy about whatever happened to the DNC and all those groups. It's not right, and obviously I'm not cheering for folks stealing private information from American entities. I'm not on board with that, whatever it means. So he watched his counterpart get fired and chaos ensue, and he's saying it's wrong. Why do you feel as though you have to insert yourself in the American process?
Well, look, WikiLeaks is a global media organization. We are funded by the public. We're not funded by dodgy foundations. We're not funded by dodgy advertisers. We're funded by the public. In fact, mostly the American public. In fact, we're tax deductible in the United States. You can go to wikileaks.org and hit the donate button.
Does WikiLeaks have a policy about publishing personal health records? Is there a possibility? We've heard a lot about various candidates' health this campaign. Is there a possibility? And I know you're being cagey about what you're going to tell us you're going to release, but do you have a policy against releasing somebody's personal medical information?
That's an interesting question in relation to a presidential candidate. I mean, we wouldn't bother in other circumstances where someone is a power figure, or there can be other cases. So in a criminal case, for example, where someone's been shot, maybe that forms part of it. Where someone has died and there's a dispute over the will, for example, and a question as to whether someone is being murdered, those can be part of it. But yes, if we received medical info about that,
let us ask you the question about Hillary Clinton's medical condition. Whatever it is.
I know you guys would love it if we scooped ourselves on Fox and Friends, but we're not going to search them. Passing references to Hillary Clinton's head injury, which she called "I had a cracked head," to decision fatigue, to her looking up Monadafil, which is also called Provigil in the United States, which is sort of an alertness drug. It's not to say that she has some necessarily serious disorder. Anyone in a very high-stress job like military pilots might be taking this. But I think it is perfectly acceptable to reveal serious information about presidential candidates. That's a long history, in fact, may affect their ability to do the job.
Julian, what is the most shocking thing that you have found out about Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think the most interesting and serious, there's relate to upcoming publications we have, a variety of different types, but a lot of information that we have already published. I mean, it may not be that apparent to most people who are not sort of specializing in geopolitics or national security, but a major failure by the Trump campaign and the Bernie Sanders campaign. Hillary Clinton tried to run on her having judgment and experience in the State Department. Later on, those campaigns, too late in the process, in my view, started picking up that the experience was mostly a bad experience. So, for example, in Libya, we published 1,700 emails about her involvement in Libya. Now, Benghazi is just a small part of that, but she was the leading architect, the leading political force driving to destroy the Libyan state. And the Pentagon was pushing senior generals, in the Pentagon, they should not avoid because radical jihadi groups would move in and take it over, which they did. It's now failed state of ISIS, etc.
Right.
And she was the leading cause of this. We published something from her emails called the Libya TikTok. That's her internal brag sheet of how she was the person behind the Libyan catastrophe. It was produced in late 2011, before
we had morning. You don't say anything bad about the Russians. They gave you your own TV show and a Russian-controlled media. Have they intimidated you?
That's false. It's just false. It's false information. A lot of there's now a campaign underway because Hillary Clinton's camp, and those who support her for good reasons and bad, know that we have serious upcoming publications. So since the DNC leaks, there's been a campaign against WikiLeaks because they're worried about an ex-publication. And we have a perfect record over a decade of having never got it wrong with what we published. So they can't attack the substance. They can't attack our analysis. So instead, they try and attack us through ad hominems. It is false. I have never had a drop in Russia today, ever. I produced the independent show. 12 broadcasters bought it, including Russia Today back in 2012. We have published 650,000 documents about Russia or Putin, most of them critical. More than 2.3 million about Syria and Bashar al-Assad, including Baghdad's emails. So this is just complete garbage.
Okay. As we mentioned, Julian is sticking around to answer some of your questions. If email us, friends@foxnews.com, or you could tweet us. More from London in 2 minutes.
Here is your news by the numbers. 2,200. That's how many students the Black Lives Matter movement might have cost the University of Missouri. Enrollment is down second after racism.
I need some muscle over here.
Next, 700. That is how many pieces of Ronald Reagan's personal memorabilia will be hitting the auction block next month. The Berlin U.S. Olympic gold medalist swimmer Katie Ledecky is foregoing from potential endorsement deals now. Instead, she wants to swim at the University of Stanford. Well, good for her.
I believe she'll make the team. Oh, yes, just call her the original Princess of Pop. She's a chart-topping, all-American artist who's been writing #1 hits since she was 65.
Married tomorrow.
Look who is here. Debbie Gibson. Welcome to Fox and Friends. So great to see you.
And Debbie, you do not need to go on Google Maps. You know this area, Long Island, New York City.
It's my hometown. I will never get used to getting up at the crazy hours you have to get up to sound check. So if I'm like, sing with me on the high notes, it's because I didn't sleep a wink last night. But here we are, the wonders of hair, makeup, and lighting, right?
You have a movie tomorrow.
I do. It's so
on the
exciting.
Hallmark Channel tomorrow night. What's it
Yes.
called?
Called Summer of Dreams in honor of Only in My Dreams, and also the theme of the movie really play of. Oh, I wonder who thought of that.
That's about.
I know, typecasting, and basically my career is falling apart. And I end up looking for my semi-estranged sister in Youngstown, Ohio, and she ends up putting me to work teaching kids music at the local high school. And
first of all, call me Miss Debbie. Miss Del Vecchio was my mom, and it is because of her that I am where I am today. So thank you, Mom. Yes.
It's a Hallmark movie, so do we cry by the end?
Oh, I think you cry throughout. I do. There are some tearjerkers in there. Actually, there in the said, "I'm sorry for ruining your childhood," and she said, "You didn't. That you were just doing what you love to do." Because my whole family kind of got uprooted and got all this attention that they didn't want.
You had to be a star, the whole family.
Right. They all had to get it. And my sister was kind of shy, and she said, "Wait, you feel guilty about that?" I said, "Are you telling me that I didn't have to pay all that money in therapy?" But anyway, there's a scene in the movie where me and my younger sister, also named Denise, we're sitting on the hood of the car having that exact conversation.
It's almost like it's therapy for Debbie in real life. But Debbie,
It is a little bit, yes.
We've had a despite the.
Well, first of all, because I grew up right here, and I always say it. I lived in LA for a while, and LA is a lot of smoke and mirrors and showbiz all the time. Yeah. And growing up on Long Island, that was like a retreat to normalcy. So I'd be touring one minute, and then I'd be bowling at Maroki Lanes on my day off when I was home. And, I have 3 sisters, and they didn't give me any special treatment. And my mom managed me for 25 years. Yeah. And your mother doesn't let you get away with anything. Yeah. And I think she's here today. She's somewhere. I don't know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be your concert. Bring during the big show. Folks, if you're at 48th and 6th Avenue, 8 o'clock, Debbie Gibson's going to be playing
Come
her
get some
greatest
ribs for
hits.
breakfast. Oh, my gosh. It smells so great.
It's such a pleasure. Congratulations on the acting career, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming up, Steve.
What's that?
I said, what's coming up?
I'm glad you asked. Somebody's talking in my ear a lot. We're switching gears. Coming at Miracle. A 10-year-old girl pulled out alive. We're going to tell you her condition coming up.
As a mother of a little girl, that is heart-wrenching. Or it's wonderful. Isn't that great? I know. Well, I've come looking up.
So they...
It's not
The other will say anything to get elected.
I never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time.
110 emails contain classified information at the time.
America deserves better. Gary Johnson supports social tolerance, free enterprise, and a sane foreign policy. A government that stays out of your pocketbook and out of your bedroom. Gary Johnson for president. The honorable choice for a change. Purple Pack Inc. is responsible for the content of this message.
Politico is now reporting that Hillary Clinton's campaign is using a out-the-clock
Donald Trump, too. Emily, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so Kellyanne Conway said that this probably, his new campaign manager, said this could be his best week yet.
Possibly. But honestly, I think that he has a lot of trouble going forward, particularly in the battleground states. I think that's what we need to be looking at. And there, he's not doing well.
Well, let's take a look right now. According to the Real Clear Politics average, Hillary Clinton leads Donald Trump, as you can see right now, at this state of the race by 6 points. Okay, it's still August, right? Does that number, how much does that number actually matter?
Well, I think it's a good point. We don't want to put too much stock in what's happening just in August, but I think we want to not just look at the national polls. We want to look at the battleground states. Polls. And if you look at those, like Florida and Ohio and so forth, we see that Donald Trump is losing to Hillary Clinton in almost all of them, but also he's actually white lately with his outreach efforts to reach out to African Americans and soften his rhetoric on immigration is largely trying to reach those voters, but it doesn't seem to be working that well.
So is the thinking the core voters are going to vote for him anyway? And so let's go for the independents who might be the 8 or 10% of undecideds at this point. We're still kind of shopping around.
Well, I think he should be looking at those voters voting for third-party candidates.
What? We're going to this. This is nationwide. Hillary Clinton, 42. Donald Trump, about 38. You got Gary Johnson at almost 9 and Jill Stein at about 4. So who are they drawing voters from? Trump or Clinton?
So it might surprise you. It's actually kind of complicated. Here's why. Okay. First, let's look at Gary Johnson's supporters. So Gary Johnson supporters are actually closet Republicans, but they're never Trump voters. So in a one-on-one matchup with Clinton and Trump, they say they're voting for Clinton. If it was a Republican in the sides should ordinarily be Republican voters. So as you can see, Clinton and Trump both have a lot to gain by trying to compete for those voters.
Interesting. All right. And now you talked about some of the battleground states. Let's look at North Carolina first. And you can see right here, North Carolina, Clinton is up by 2 over Trump.
Yes.
And Gary Johnson's got 7.
Something that I think is very important to keep in mind here is we want to take several polls conducted over the course of a week, maybe 2 weeks, to really be able to establish a trend. And what we're seeing in North Carolina is not much movement at all. Hillary Clinton continues to lead Trump, and it's not really changing. And this is actually a big problem for Trump because Romney won the state of North Carolina. It should not be as tight as it is. Now, Trump is gaining in the state of Arizona. That we do see movement. But again, Romney won the state of Arizona by 9 points in 2012.
Okay, let's take a look at the great state of Florida that's going to have a rainy weekend, I believe, with the tropical storm down there. I've seen a couple of polls, and this one's from Florida Atlantic University. I've seen a couple of polls in the last couple. He had within the market.
If you aggregate polls together conducted over the past couple of weeks, Hillary Clinton is still leading in Florida, but her post-convention bounce may be fading just a little bit. Florida is winnable for Trump. So he really needs to be spending time in Florida and Ohio, not spending so much time in Mississippi and Texas.
All right, interesting stuff. Emily, thank you very much for joining us from Cato. All right. It's, stay there for just a second.
Okay.
we got some news. You want to watch the news? Here's Heather. Heather?
Yeah, you should watch because we begin with this incredible video here. A 10-year-old girl pulled from a mountain of rubble after Italy stuck under a collapsed building. Amazing. The little girl's feet appearing first, and then firefighters slowly lifting her from the debris. Here's our moment of joy. Deciding whether it's Legal to ban full body swimsuits known as burkinis. It is already against the law for Muslim women to wear them in some towns. That's sparking some and terror attack. Policemen in blue need more transgender training.
There you are. Sir?
What are you doing? Can you excuse us for a moment? Just step up here.
The DOJ releasing this video showing officers how to treat transgender people with respect. It goes discouraging should smile once in a while. The professor writing an email to the athletics department urging them to diversify the mascot's facial expression. She argues that images of Herky don't fall in line with the message of non-violence that the school aims to spread.
Girl had buried in her cell phone a lot. Then she did the unexpected. She gave up her iPhone for a flip phone.
Wow.
So how can you get your kid to do the same thing? Find out from her coming up.
She and my mom, the only two people.
There she is. My family go, what's a flip phone?
And look who else is in our green room. People magazine called him the sexiest beast charmer.
Yep. What time this day? 5, this country star. He met 2007. That makes Ainsley smile. Who is he? Take a listen. It's a hint. Please make it louder.
That jacked up the price of the EpiPen is a Clinton Foundation donor. The company Mylan that has been under intense scrutiny for raising the price of its life-saving EpiPens previously donated $250,000 to the Clinton Foundation, according to the foundation's website. The irony, Hillary blackmailing the Pike, outrageous. And she's right, it is. And this is Sarah Jessica Parker stepping down as the face of Mylan. If you haven't in other news, if you have an iPhone, update your software right now. Apple issuing an urgent warning after hackers cracked a code.
And Snapchatting, texting, and Instagramming. The life of a high school kid can get pretty stressful, we understand. So one teenager decided to ditch that lifestyle.
Wow. When Janie Litvin's iPhone shattered, she decided to trade it in for a flip phone. Says she's never been happy.
And she has been smiling since she sat on the couch. 16-year-old Janie Litvin and Kurt the Cyber Guy are here to help us detect. We don't want to totally detect that you'll have no job, Kurt. There's balance. Detect. And still stay in touch.
Make our lives a little simpler right now.
Thanks for being here, Janie. First off, what prompted this? Besides the breaking of the iPhone, what prompted you to go to the next step?
So I realized it was message. And so I decided that I didn't have to get a new iPhone. So I went on Amazon and ordered myself this nice purple Motorola flip phone.
That's great. I was going to say, because I don't even know if you can buy these in the stores anymore.
I don't think you can buy this exact kind, but Amazon has plenty of them.
Right. Look how they're updated on the microphone. The problem with the flip phone, is it?
Definitely not.
So, and then I asked you in the green room, because this is really the question, because you're in that peer set that it's important how you appear. You're not in your text group that how people collect. Are you considered the cool kid?
First, because I wasn't in this texting group chat that's so important for people in our generation. But after I got the article published by 17 magazine, I really felt people understood more why I was deciding to go to a flip phone. And now my friends use their phones less. 2 people I know actually decided to get flip phones. And people just think it's really cool.
She is bold and brave, and I got to tell you, you are now the trendsetter. This is so here's some flip phones. So we ordered all under $25 from Amazon. And you say, well, why would I really want this? Come on, can I get away with this? Yes, you can still text with it, right?
Yeah.
It's not you can with it, rather than giving them a smartphone.
That's great.
But you say you're more aware now. You find yourself looking around more and actually using the phone to talk to people. Right?
Walk in a room and your head's up and everybody else's head is down in their phone.
It's so scary. You go into a room and people are Snapchatting each other from across the room. Yeah. And my
balance.
You were
the
brave.
balancing act is getting to the right side of it, right? Awesome, man. Congratulations.
I like it. Put Kurt out of a job. Flip phone conversation segment, so it won't be as popular.
They're still rotary. I can go to rotary.
Good. All right, thanks, guys. Great story. Meanwhile,
Trump has built his campaign on prejudice and paranoia.
Yeah. There's another option. John Stossel is hosting a town hall for Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson. Stossel here live next hour.
And Pete.
Brian Kilmeade, born today. The Florida Georgia Line band member turns 31. And our winner is Joanne Lupo from Deerfield Beach, Florida. She's going to be getting a copy of Brian's book, Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli.
You are going
Yeah, the paperback comes out in 2 months, but you can get the more expensive version. We lost a puppy, Steve, during you gotta get
Georgia Line, they have a new song called Holy. You got to download it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's good, but they've got to do our show again. They didn't just
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
So what was it like getting the call from People magazine? Hey, you're the sexiest veterinarian alive.
Almost comedic, and I thought, hey, I'll take it. It's not what I'm going for. I'm just trying to be a vet, but I thought it was pretty cool.
How did you wind up on their radar? Is it the Pelfies, the pet selfies? You do?
It's got to be something. Honestly, I never totally found out, but I think it has something to do with my social media.
And he has thousands of followers on Instagram. That's
some kind of what similar breeds kind of.
What do we got? Do you know?
Yeah, this is a lab. Pit bull mix and a very common breed combination to see actually in shelters.
A lot of people are worried about pit bull mixes.
Right.
Should they be?
You know, I would say great.
So sweet. I just lost my dog on Friday. So
Oh,
this is so
I'm so
sweet.
sorry
He just
to
left
that.
your lap. He knew I needed a hug.
yeah.
You're so,
A hug and sneeze.
And might not like your perfume.
Look how good. I don't wear perfume on the set. How about these little guys down here? They're so cute. They're so
these
good,
guys
aren't
are
they?
little
He's more
shits,
disciplined than we are on the set.
And these are great dogs, honestly. So I see a lot of owners and pets, and these people live in apartments or smaller living situations, and these dogs are great for that. They're really well behaved. They're actually really intelligent. They'll play and be active when they want to be. If they just want to be couch potatoes, they'll take it easy too.
Evan, how much school do you go to be a vet?
It's at least 8 years, 4 years of undergrad and 4 years of veterinary school.
Very good. And now you're out in
You have to know every animal.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of exotics too, so I see a lot of things other than cats and dogs. Like reptiles and birds and some wildlife and zoo animals and things. So there's many different body systems to be aware.
You ever get a rhino with a fever?
Yeah, right. No, that one.
Don't get these dogs some homes this weekend.
What a great shelter. All right. Donald Trump fires back at Hillary Clinton's claims of being racist with the brand new ad, but can he win the African American vote? His son Eric Trump tells us his plan.
And forget the anti-cop chants and the violent protests. Black Lives Matter wants you to know they're just being misunderstood.
Is he great?